What's up, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this, I want to give you guys a very quick update about NIO and the markets. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. Anyways, as far as the markets go, I just want to mention we didn't really get too much news over the weekend. We had a 3-day weekend, at least in the USA. And as far as NIO is going, we're trying to form a base at this 3.8 area. So we're looking for a small rebound here to see if we can get back up to 3.92. Then we'll see if NIO rejects off that again. And the overall market's getting some good news, which could help us with a small rebound. But we'll see to what extent this really, continues and if we get another rejection from there. As far as the news is going, not really seeing much that's come out that we haven't really talked about already. The price price ratio still remains down for NIO, and we're still getting lots of attention from the ET5. Now, when it comes to many Chinese stocks, which could be affecting NIO, we're seeing some news about how with the new tariffs coming out on like imported iPhones, we're starting to see some of their suppliers. So Apple suppliers actually falling right now during the open hours in China. So that's some big news that's coming out as we're starting to see some Chinese stocks taking a small hit. I think much of the downside already came, and I think that there could be a small rebound coming if we don't get any more bad news. Now, tomorrow, Kashkari is giving a speech at 4 a.m. Then we have some very important manufacturing numbers coming out around 10:30 a.m. alongside consumer confidence. So I expect some volatility tomorrow around this time period, so be ready for that. On top of this, Jerome Powell gave a speech yesterday, and he said that once again, the central banks are in the process of making adjustments, but the economic environment has changed significantly from 2020, and they have to kind of assess those changes. There's also going to be a new kind of like economy where we may not get low rates for a good while, and he said it's not going to be a sure thing, leading to some uncertainty. But I still think that there's other good pieces of news, such as the fact that President Trump announced that he wants to extend the deadline on the European Union's tariffs of 50% up until July 9th. And we also had President Trump actually put that on his Truth Social page, alongside the fact that he wants to see more trade deals. So there was some good news. So very mixed news. I do think that as the market, tried to dump only to bounce on Friday, we're going to see a test of this 580 area, and we'll see if we could break past this or not. But we need to get back above like 588 to really break this 10 to try to push up higher. If we can't do that, it could be a very opposite move. And it's possible that we push like this towards this resistance, and we'll see if we get a rejection off of that because we have to see how well we could hold above 580 for confirmation. We may try to go a little bit higher with the news that's coming up, but then we'll see if we get a rejection off that or not. I'll be watching to see how well we could hold above the 580 area. We might try to see a small push before coming back down. So please be very careful with this, at least when it comes to this setup. On the QQQ, it's the same thing. Essentially, we have to see how well we could hold above this 510 area. We might push towards it, and then we'll see if we get a rejection. If we do, we could be dipping back down towards like 505. So you want to be very careful, at least nonetheless. For the IWM, we're trying to rebound right here. We have to see if we could hold above 201.5. We could be pushing to 203, and if we get a rejection, we're looking for a move lower, especially as time goes on. On ES, you guys can see in the after hours, ES is trying to bounce. We actually saw this as soon as, I think, today. So there's a chance ES might try to go a little higher, back up towards 5,900, and that could actually help SPY try to push up higher as well. We're forming kind of like an inverse head and shoulders here, so it depends on a lot of different factors. Might be a small push on NQ. It's also trying to rebound right here. We need to hold above 21,200. As long as we don't have a bad catalyst, we're looking for an attempt for 21,400 again for a small rebound. Bitcoin is holding 108,000. We'll have to see if that holds for us to rebound. Tesla's trying to push here, so we're going to see if Tesla could break and hold above 340. If we do, we're looking for an attempt for 345 again to get back up towards these highs. So we can consolidate and start pushing like this before we try to break out. So watch for that very closely. Nvidia is trying to rebound as we're holding support right here, so we'll see if we start pushing back up to 132 to 135. So keep that in mind. For Amazon, we're actually making lower highs, which we'll have to see if we push back up to 198 or not. So give that some time. And then for a couple more, AMD is also attempting a rebound. We have to see if we could hold 110. If it holds, we're looking for an attempt for 111.79. If not, we could be looking for a rejection, but we have to give this some time. For Amazon, we're making lower highs here. We're going to see if we could come down to fill this gap. We need to see if we break 202 or not. If not, we could be dipping back down, so be very careful with that. On Meta, we're making lower highs here. We'll see if 625 holds. If not, we could be dipping back down to 615. For Google is also rejecting right here. We have to see if 169 holds. If 169 does not hold, we're looking for 166. Microsoft is also rejecting off a bearish divergence, so we have to see if we get back above 452. Might come down a little bit lower to retest like 446 before it tries to bounce, so keep that in mind. Now for the VIX, as we formed a wick, we're going to see if this comes down temporarily, if the market gets a temporary bounce. But will the market reject after that? Will we kind of push temporarily only to get a rejection? It all depends, but I do think that as of right now, it looks like we're going to go higher if we don't get another bad catalyst. So the market is favoring. I might try to see a small rebound tomorrow. And if this lasts, we were going to continue to push. We'll just have to see just to be safe. So with that being said, as the market rebounds, this could help NIO try to get back up to about 3.9. Once again, a very insignificant move. We're only jumping like 10 to 15 cents to the upside. We'll make much bigger moves once we see the fundamentals come into place and we see a lot of change in Chinese policy. But for now, we're just making very, very small moves, and that's what I'm anticipating for the time being. I want to be very honest about that. So I thank you all for listening. So please have a good rest of your day and peace out.